it's Ina the Mood Reader and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm finally posting the last vlog for the reading rush. Unfortunately, I don't have any reading vlog to show you guys, so this will just be the wrap up of the entire readathon. And if you want to learn what happened to me and my total performance throughout the reading rush, then please keep on watching. Before we dive into the details of what I read throughout this readathon, I would just like to put it out there that I do not condone the actions that was done by the creators of this readathon during one of the live streams, which is I think for the book club discussion of Such a Fun Age. And I didn't really join the reading rush for the social side of it. I haven't really took part in the forums, in the Instagram sprints, and the Twitter sprints. In fact, I don't actually know what those mean. And I did not take part in the book club discussion because I don't have a copy yet of Such a Fun Age. So and usually their live stream schedules are very early in the morning here in the Philippines, so I was sleeping when this happened. But when I woke up and checked on the tweets on the reading rush, I saw how many creators are outraged on Twitter because I think they laughed about not being able to read the book at all, which is kind of weird since they have chosen this for a while and this was a book club discussion. So as host of the book club discussion, I think you have the responsibility to read and finish the book. And yeah, so of course this was taken in offense by many black readers in the community and other members of the POC umbrella. So these creators, talk about being a champion of diversity or being an ally, and they weren't able to deliver that. I can never blame the people who felt hurt about these actions, and some tweets even say that this was not the first time that they weren't careful about their actions and behaviors towards the community. So yeah, I just want to put it out there so you guys know what happened, especially for other booktubers like me who weren't really online all the time to catch up with issues like that. So yeah, on a lighter note, I would just still want to talk to you guys about the books that I have read, because I was able to read 6 books for 7 days, which is an advantage for me as much as I would have wanted to push for another book. I was too tired. Again, it was my birthday weekend, so I didn't really have time to do that, but I was still able to address all the 7 prompts created for the reading rush, and I would just want to run through them a little so you guys know what happened. Yeah, you would want to compare my TBR, which I'll be linking here, to my actual reads. It wasn't the same. I wasn't able to do that, but instead of reading Cupid's Match by Lauren Paul Freeman, I switched to Dear Adam by Kelsey Stelting, and I rated that book 4 out of 5 stars. It's a YA romance which fits the pen pal trope, where they know each other in real life and then they write to each other. They actually email each other and they didn't know that they're talking to the same person, and romance ensues. So if you want to know my thoughts about that, I'll be sharing the reading rush daily vlogs down below and maybe here on the cards. So yeah. And then for the second prompt, I was able to also get the badge for read a book that starts with the word the, and for that I read The Mall by Megan McCafferty. And I am part of a blog tour for this book hosted by the publisher Wednesday Books, and I reviewed this already on my blog ynathemoodreader.com, and I'll also be linking it down below and in the cards here. So I rated this one 4 out of 5 stars. It's very nostalgic. I was born in the 90s. I was very young then, so I didn't get some of the pop culture references. But I think if you were a teen during the 90s, you'll have so much fun walking down memory lane with this book. So the third badge that I got is for read a book completely outside of your house. And for that, I read What About the Day by Don Lanuza, and it's one of those happened in one day books. It was very short. I think it's about 120 pages all in all, and I was able to read that in our balcony instead of the rooftop because it rained. I also vlogged about that, and I'll link it down below as well. So this book I also rated 4 out of 5 stars, but I still love the writing style of the author. And for the fourth badge that I was able to get, it's about read a book that inspired a movie that you've already seen, and that's Dumplin' by Julie Murphy. That was my favorite read for July. It has been stuck in my TBR for so long, but I finally got the chance to read it, and I really love Dumplin'. The book had lots of tabs or sticky tags after I read it. And yeah, just as much as I love the movie, I love the book even more. This was my 5-star read for this readathon. So I also got another badge for that, which is when you have read a 5-star book here. For the fifth badge that I got, it's a little cheating, I guess. I don't know, because it's the read the first book you touch prompt. And if you go back to my TBR video, I have selected randomly an arc from NetGalley, and it landed on Forbidden to Touch, which is an ironic. And it would have been fun to get the chance to read that. I actually started a few pages of it, but I fell asleep. I tried to interpret the prompt in a different way and go with the first book that I touched to start the readathon, and that's Dumpling as well. So I don't know if that's cheating, but yeah, I want that badge, so I gave it to me. Yeah. So the next one, it's the 6th challenge, and I also got the badge for it, and it's read a book in a genre that you have always wanted to read more of. And going back to that, I chose Ignite the Stars by Maura Millan, which has been part of my July TBR, as chosen by Munchie. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to read it, but I was able to substitute a very good replacement for it. I chose The 57 Bus, a true story of 2 teenagers and the crime that changed their lives. So it's a non-fiction targeted for YA readers. It's a narrative non-fiction, so I actually didn't really feel pressured that I was reading non-fiction. And it was an amazing book. It was written very beautifully. I ranted about how much I loved it a lot on the reading vlog that, again, I will be posting down in the description. So yeah, if you have a Scribd subscription, or if you're looking for a non-fiction read, you should definitely buy this one. I recommend it. Highly recommend this one. So originally, I thought I would be rating it 4 stars, but looking back on how it affected me, it deserves the 5 stars. So yeah. And lastly, we have read a book that takes place on a different continent than where you live. And for this one, I read Vanessa Yu's Magical Paris Tea Shop by Rosel Lim, which is I think a Filipino author. This is the second book of hers that I have read, and I read it as a part of the Caffeine Book Tour's blog tour, and I'm so happy that I picked this. Of course, it's an Asian read, it's an Asian romance, but it takes place, a majority of it takes place in Paris, which is in France, which is in Europe, very far from Asia. From Southeast Asia, of course, from where I am. And this book is in magical realism, so somewhat a romance, but a little bit of fantasy, which is not too complicated for my very poor fantasy scared brain, I guess. And yeah, so the main character, Vanessa Yu, comes from a family of clairvoyants, and they have the power to see the future. And the part about that is that she has no red thread. And if you're a fan of Asian traditions or mythology, I'm not sure what I should classify that as, but the red thread is the belief that we have our soulmates. I'm not sure where this actually, I need to do research, as you can see. But you are connected to someone, you have a soulmate out there in the world, and you're connected by a red thread. So that's a romantic way of looking at love. And because she is a clairvoyant, she doesn't have someone connected on the other end of the red thread, and she challenges that when she meets someone in Paris. And yeah, so that's what the story is about. And I think this was a notch higher in compared to the author's debut novel, which was too heavy for my taste. And this one, however, has, you know, a good representation of Asian traditions, Asian beliefs, how the the huge Asian families, how that works. And you have different titos and titas, or aunts and uncles, and they have their own quirky personalities. Also, how Asian parents are to their children, even when their children are adults, and there's so much food descriptions. I mean, Roselle Lim writes the best food description. Also saw that in her earlier book, but I didn't expect that there's also a lot of food mentions here in her book, and she writes them vividly, like the food is actually right there in your face. And she wrote about a number of Parisian pastries that made me so hungry. And also, she described Paris very beautifully, that when I was younger, I dreamt of going to Paris. It was like my topmost dream, and out of it. And then through reading this book, she brought me back to loving Paris again. I rated it 5 stars as well. So to wrap it all up, I read a total of 1,634 pages. Yes! I was so surprised when I tallied all the reads that I read 1,634 pages in a week, which is definitely something to celebrate for someone like me. Aside from those badges, I also got the overall Reading Rush 2020 badge. I also got one for making a Bookstagram post. I participated in the first 2 challenges, and then I got too busy to catch up on the other challenges. And yeah, in the first 2, I just used Munchie anyway. So there's also another badge that I got for making a BookTube video, and I made a total of 8, including this one for the Reading Rush. And then another badge for reading more than 1,000 pages. So that's the overall Reading Rush experience that I got. And to be honest with you guys, really fun joining a readathon. At first, I was intimidated by it. I thought I'd be pressured. And yeah, I was pressured, but the competitive part of, the Leo inside me was recharged, was excited to be a part of a friendly challenge. And it's really nice, to have challenges wherein you tick off certain goals, and the satisfying moment of, crossing out a target or achieving a goal is really nice. I hope that you have enjoyed watching this video and knowing about how I ended my Reading Rush journey. If you also made a few Reading Rush videos, you can link it down below or shoot me a comment so I can visit your profile. And yeah, see you on my socials, where I am more active to respond to you guys. And yeah, see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!